The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, was on Raw 30 this week and got to walk his daughter down that aisle, styling and profiling, announce her as the greatest women's champion of all time. Perhaps. Who knows? It's debatable. She's certainly one of. She's up there. But Flair was on his podcast To Be the Man this week, talking all about his experience at Raw 30, and it sounded pretty life-changing to him. It was a very eye-opening experience for him. He had a lot of praise for it. It made him feel special again, made him feel wanted again, he said, and he was able to mend some fences there. There was Triple H. There were some rumors that him and Triple H weren't really getting along all that great. And that was kind of backed up by comments that Flair had made before. At one point, I heard him say that he regretted giving Triple H the old NWA World title that he gave him. Sad, man. It's sad, the bitter Ric Flair. But I think he was able to get a lot of that out of his system this week. And that's what I fucking love to hear. He was able to make peace with Triple H and with Becky Lynch. They were beefing over this whole the man thing. The man. She calls herself the man. Pfft, I'm the man. This is coming from a guy who calls himself the Nature Boy after Buddy Rogers did it, for how many years. And said he was fine with Buddy Landell calling himself the Nature Boy too. So why does he got to beef over the man with fucking a woman of all things? I'll never know. I just kind of chalk it up to Flair being in a bad place, but apparently he's working on it, folks, and he's getting himself in a better spot. Check out this clip. Ric Flair talking with Conrad on To Be the Man about patching things up with Becky Lynch.
It started out with me and Hunter talking for about an hour, which was a private discussion, but resolving a lot of issues that have been lingering for a couple of years. And then I apologized to Becky Lynch.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
I walked up to her and said, "May I speak with you for a minute?" And I just said, "I'm sorry." That's how we got to where it is. I went over and shook Seth Rollins' hands, and I said, "I'm going to apologize to your wife." And I've just decided that it all comes with a documentary. Sometimes you get so wrapped up in things that you just forget, and you say it so many times for so many years. And actually, the man trade, the whole thing was decided by someone besides she and I.
Right.
So then you go to war over it, because it wasn't that. It's not that as much as the money that's involved in it, which the company, reaps the better part of anyway. And then I saw her with her child. I thought, God, this will be Ashley someday, and it's Megan now with Morgan. I mean, it's not worth it. And
right.
I am not the man anymore. The man is whatever the people think is.
This is really good to hear. I actually love this because that's one of the, I want to love Ric Flair. I don't hate the guy, he's one of the biggest icons professional wrestling has ever had. You know what I mean? And I know he's an emotional guy and he's a sensitive guy, but over the last few years since he kicked out at 2 3/4 from dying there, I feel like he's been pretty bitter and he's been carrying around a lot of resentment with him. And it comes out when he talks about, I just covered maybe a month or so ago. He was going hard on Jim Ross just randomly out of nowhere. And in that same one, he was going hard on Chris Jericho. He's going hard on a lot of different people a lot lately. Becky Lynch has been one of them too. He scoffs at her, he was really upset over the man thing. And, they even went as far as, Becky, switched to Big Time Bex for a while, but now she's back to being the man. I think Big Time Bex was her heel character. Similar to what Seth Rollins is doing, the extravagant, over-the-top, just obnoxious heel type. But, Becky is the man. That's her character, and I think that's what it needs to be. And I never understood it, like, other than just being flat out bitter, especially, like I said before the clip, for a guy that calls himself the Nature Boy. How are you going to get mad when somebody else borrows your name? And it's not some other dude. Flair, Nature Boy Buddy Rogers wore a fucking robe. You know what I mean? It wasn't as extravagant as Ric Flair's, but Ric Flair just stole the entire gimmick from Buddy Rogers and updated it for a modern, at the time, a modern era. But for him to just now be pissed that somebody else, Flair hasn't been an active wrestler for fucking years, since the 2000s, since the early 2000s. Was the last time that he was any kind of relevant on national TV. And he was way past his prime at that point. He was the man in the 80s. And it's Becky Lynch. It's a female. It's a different gimmick. It's a different character. Fuck off. And Flair kind of attributed it to money. He said it was kind of a money thing. Who knows, I don't know that he's making money off of the man. He's got a podcast called To Be the Man, but he's Ric Flair. Ric Flair drip, Nature Boy, woo wings. You know what I mean? He's got his brand, dude. There's nothing that he's branding the man. That's not a thing that he uses other than he calls himself, to be the man. You got to beat the man. He doesn't even say I'm the man. It's to be the man. You got to beat the man. So the whole thing was silly to me, in my opinion, but I'm glad that Rick found it within himself to forgive, to let it go. And it sounds like, I guess he didn't say much about Seth or Becky as far as if he felt like they forgave him. He just basically said that he apologized to them, made peace, and he's letting it go. For now, anyway. This is Ric Flair, and he's a pretty bitter guy at times. So I wouldn't put it past him to complain about it again somewhere along the way when he's got a hair up his ass having a bad day. But I would like to hope that all of this is kind of behind him now, and that they can all be friends and get along and everybody love everybody. Stop fighting, especially over something so fucking stupid. The man. Becky should have went. If I was Becky, I would have started wearing fucking robes, calling myself the Nature Boy, Becky Lynch. That would have been funny. If you're gonna be pissy about it, I'm gonna give you something to be pissy about, motherfucker. So I'd never even seen him as the same thing. Becky calling herself the man. I never once, even from day one, go, oh, that's Ric Flair's thing. It's two completely opposite things, but I'm just kind of ranting here at this point. All's well that ends well, and according to Ric Flair on To Be the Man, all has ended well. And so I'm going to go ahead and end this well and move on to the next. Woo!
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.